guys, and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. So I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. So today I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a peplum gown. So this is just like an English gown. It is really simple and easy, very simple and easy. So you could put this off in less than 2 hours, because I'm going to be making use of a medium and scuba flower fabric, so I'm not going to be lining it. So and this is 1.5 yards, so that's what I'm going to be making use of for a hip, and for hip of 32 inches and hip. So that's okay, sorry, for a bust of 32, and then the hip is 34. So that's what I'm going to be making use of. And then so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold my fabric. Okay, so I folded my fabrics out. So I measured out 37 inches, because what I actually want is 36 inches, but I measured out 37 inches. And then the width that I actually used was my hip and measurement. You divide it into 4, and then I added 2.5 allowance. So that allowance is really, because this is a stretchy fabric, I just added it to it. So at the end of the day, when I'm stitching, I'm still going to, because I'm going to be adding a zipper to it to the back, so I'm going to still reduce the measurement. I'm going to reduce it by 1 inch or half an inch. So I have some lines here. So the first line I have here is the bust, is her bust and line, and the bust line is actually 9 inches. Then from her bust and from the shoulder to the under bust is 12 inches. So this is 12 inches. Then from the shoulder to her waist and measurement, that's her waist, is 18 inches. Then from this 18 inches, I'm going to show you, for those, since this is a pencil gown, how to measure where you are going to, your hip and line measurement. You are going to measure from here. You are going to use it between 8 and 10 inches, depends on how tall the person is. So for this, I'm going to be making use of 8 inches, but 9 inches is just like the perfect line, whether the person is tall or short. 9 inches is perfect. So this part, that's where I'm going to be inserting my hip measurement. So and then I have the full and length. So we're going to start inserting our measurement line, which is really simple. So the first thing I'm going to measure out now is the shoulder measurement, and the shoulder measurement is 14 inches. So you divide 14 into 2, you have 7. So this is 7 inches. So I'm just going to put my 7 inches here. So this is the shoulder measurement. So I'm just trying to get it as close to the camera as I can. So this is my 7 inches. So you mark your 7 inches here, and then I'm going to add 1 inch for my allowance on my shoulder line. And then from this line, I'm just going to come down. I'll use 7 inches for my armhole. So this is like my 7 inches. So the back piece, I forgot to say it, I'm sorry. So the back piece is 1 inch bigger than the front piece. So I don't want too much big zipper allowance for the back, because this is a stretchy fabric. If you don't know how to pull off your zipper, it's going to bulge. So I'm going to use 1 inch, just tiny 1 inch. So from this point now, so I've measured out this point. So I'm just going to use my pattern curve. Okay, I'll measure it out straight, sorry. To mark it straight, so that will enable you to get it out and perfectly well. So I'm just going to use my pattern curve like this. So I've marked out my armhole. So the next thing, I'm going to insert my bust and measurement. So the bust measurement, I told you, I said is 32. When you divide 32 into 4, you have 8 inches. So this is 8 inches. So I'm just going to add just 1 inch allowance, or just 1.5. So when I'm taking the final measurement, I'm going to take it out. So for the under and bust and measurement, her under bust is 27 inches. So you divide 27 into 4. You mark it out, and then I'll add my allowance also. So because I'm going to be putting a dart, and the dart is going to be running from the under bust, from my under bust to my waistline. So I'm going to use 1 inch. I'm going to take 1 inch for the dart on both sides. So I'm just going to like add that back, so that will, from this allowance, it will fit into it for me. So I'm just going to mark it like this. And then her waist measurement is 28 inches. So I'm just going to place it like this, and then I'll measure out, take the measurement, you divide it into 4, and then you add your allowance to it. So you see what I have. So the next thing, I'm going to measure out the hip measurement. So our hip measurement is 34, so you divide into 4, and then I'm going to add my allowance, so that I'm almost at the end of the fabric. So from this point like this, I'm going to just make a slant curve like this to the hip line point. So this is it. So you have to be careful when working with stretchy fabric. And then for the down part, what I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract 2 inches from her hip measurement. So that's what I'm going to place there. I'm going to subtract 2 inches. So you see our pencil gown. So this is the part where we're going to be putting our dart. So for the dart, what you are going to do, I'm going to use our bust span measurement, which is 4 inches, that's 8. So I'm just going to run it through from the under bust to the waistline. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this off now. So we have our gown laid out. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out the neckline. So I'm just going to come to this point, this part like this. I'm going to measure 3 inches. And then from this 3 inches point like this, I'm going to take the depth. So I'm going to be making use of 5 inches depth. So this is for the front. And then the back, I'm just going to maintain my line here like this. The back and neckline is going to be higher. So for the back and neckline, I'm going to make use of 2 inches or 1.5. So it depends on. So I'll cut out the back neckline like this. And then for the front and neckline, I'm going to cut it out also. So we're done. So you can see what I have. Okay guys, so and the next thing we are going to do now is to cut out our peplum. So for the down part of my gown, here's what I have. I have about 18 inches. That's plus the allowance included. I have about 18 inches, but what I'm going to be stitching at the end of the day, I'm going to be making use of 15 inches. So now I'm going to cut out my normally if you want to cut out one single round peplum for the down, you are just going to use the measurement, that's 30 inches. So because it is 2 pieces, that's 15 plus 15, that's 30 inches. So that means you are not going to be pleating anything. But for this, my fabric is almost I can't get full flay out of it. So what I'm going to do, I want my flay to be very full. So what I'm going to do, instead of cutting out 4 flay, so I could decide to cut out 4 flay and then join them together. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out 3 flay. So what I'm going to do now, my this measurement, that's the 15 inches, I'm going to divide it. That's I'm going to divide it into 2. Let me not confuse you. That's this, this is 1 piece. I have 15 inches for the front and then 15 inches for the back. So at the end of the day, that's 30 inches. So I'm trying to cut out peplum that will give me 30 inches, but I don't want to cut out 2. I want it to be 3 flay that I'm going to cut out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out flay of 10 inches. So 3 will give me 30 and 30. That's 3 flays. That's the radius. That's this point now. Will give me 30 inches. So the length that I actually want for this flay is about 6 inches. So I've said it before. So I'm just going to make it 8 inches. So when I'm done, I'll be able to trim out as much as I want. So I'm just still going to even increase it since I have enough here. So the circumference that I'm going to the radius I'm going to cut out for this first one now is going to be 10 inches. It's going to be 10 inches. So I'm just trying to get the measurement out first. So 8.5. So I'm going to cut. So I was supposed to cut out at 6 inches. So at the end of the day, I'm just cutting out 8.5. So I'll have extra. So when I'm done, I will trim it out. Okay, so I've cut out the first one. So I'm just going to place it like this and then cut out the second one. So another name for this flare is actually 1080 flare, because this one now is 360. So when you are cutting out 3, you are cutting out 1800. So I don't want to confuse. It is really bulky. So I'm going to cut out the third one now. So I've cut out the 3 now. I've cut out the circumference now. The next thing I'm going to show you how to cut out now is the radius. So the radius is actually the waist and measurement. That's this part. So and I need 30, like I said I needed and 30 inches for that. So what I'm going to cut out from this now, I'm going to cut out 10 inches, 10 inches, 10 inches, and then that's add half inch that I'm going to use to join them together. So at the end of the day, so I'm going to add 1 inch to this, 1 inch to this, 1 inch. So I'm going to cut out 11 inches out from here. So in cutting out the 11 inches, I'm just going to do it and like the simplest way. I'll take 11 inches like this and then I'm going to divide it into 4. So this is what I have. So I'm just going to place it like this and then I'll cut out. I'll mark it out and then check out my length. So that was why I was using that 8.5. So at the end of the day, I'm going to have enough room for my allowance. So I'm going to check if what I have here is 3 points. So it's almost like 3.5. So I've marked this one out. So I'm going to check out the length. So you see I have my 6 inches now. So from this point now, I'm just trying to blend out my 6 inches and properly, which I'm still going to use as 6.5. So you see what I have now. So this is the final trimming of my peplum. So I'm going to cut out the radius now. So this is the radius of 11 inches and then I'm going to trim the circumference, that's the down part. So this whole process I'm going to repeat it with these two. So at the end of the day, I'm going to open them at the side, so I'll be able to join them together. So I've opened the first one, you see it. So I'm going to open the second one. And then I'll open up the third one. So I'm going to stitch the 3 together. I'm just going to take them like this, I'll stitch them. So I'm going to trim it. This one is a little bit longer. So I'll stitch them together like this. And then I'll stitch the third one together. And then I would go and stitch my gown together. also before I'll come back and then show you how to stitch it. So it's really simple, and then you stitch your peplum, you stitch it to the down. So I'll just show you the process. So I'm going to go and stitch my gown together. So the back piece, I'm going to open it up because there's a zipper at the back. So I'll open up the back piece because of the zipper allowance, and then I'll join it back, and then I'll join the side. So for the neckline, I'm just going to turn the neckline with a bias, or I'll cut out, I don't have enough fabric left, so I'm going to use another fabric like a lining to cut out and facing for the necklines to turn it so it will be neat. So I'm just going to go and do that, and then we're almost done. Okay guys, so I finished stitching my dress, so I'm just going to show it to you now. So this is the front part. So like I said, you know, my fabric was not enough, so I had to just use a soft lining to turn out the neckline. So this is the completed dress. So this is the down part of the dress. So remember the flares that I actually cut out? I actually cut out 3 flares. I was going to actually pleat them. So by the end of the day, after joining 2 of my flares, what I discovered is that I think I have enough. I don't want to pleat it anymore. So I'm just going to fix it. So I'm not going to be pleating it. So I'm just going to be fixing it like this. So you see, it's looking so beautiful. Because this is a stretchy fabric, even though the measurement is not enough, I'm going to pull it. Once I'm fixing it, I'll just pull it so it will now fall into place. So this is the extra one that is remaining. So I'm going to, maybe I'll add it to the sleeve. So I don't know yet. So as I walk along, as the creativity comes in, I'll just put them into place. So what I'm going to do now, so in fixing this, so I've joined on one side. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to open up, and this back, this is the back part. So I'm just going to open it just a little bit like this, and then I'm going to fix it round. You understand? I'm going to fix it. So in fixing it, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure when I'm fixing this side that is slit, that I join, it's going to correspond with this point like this. Okay, no. So you can decide to do this in 2 ways. So I think, okay, let's fix it side. Let's fix it side. That's so it will not have any joint, because if I fix it that way I was talking about, this joint is going to be in the front. So I don't want it. So I think I'm going to open it up back, and then we're going to fix it one and then join it on the side. So that's better. So I'm going to stitch up this point back, and then I'm going to open up the side, like the side of my seam. I'm just going to rip it out. You can just use your seam ripper. I can't find mine now, so I'm just going to open it up like this on the side. So this is the side now, and then I'll stitch this point back, and then I'll fix it one here, and then I'll join it on the side. So that's better. So in fixing it, here's what you're going to do. You're just going to take the center of it, and then I'm going to place it here now. So you open up that point. So I'll do the same thing to the other side. So when I'm done, I'll come back and show you. So I finished stitching it. So you see how it looks like. It really came out beautifully well. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to use an overlock and seam to lock it down. So you can decide to roll fold it. So the dress is coming out well. So for my sleeve now, I'm going to use my pencil. I'm going to do my regular pencil sleeve for this dress. So this remaining part that was remaining, so I'm going to try and cut it and then see if I can attach it to the down part of my sleeve. So I'm going to shear it into 2. That means I'm going to just open it more, so I'll have more volume, and then I'll put it at the down part of my my sleeve like this. So I'm going to use this pattern. So I'll drop the link of how to cut a pencil sleeve. I'll drop it on the description box, so you can, if you don't know how to do that, you are just going to use it, and then you'll be able to cut out yours. So I'm just going to cut it out, and then I would stitch it.